SMT Nation, we back. We've got a huge network update for you here today. This one coming out of Verizon. It's going to be a major thing for their 5G ultra wideband network. I think a lot of you have been, I don't know, I guess pretty familiar with the 5G UW upgrades. I've shown a ton of them in my market. People have been sharing them with me. The network tech enthusiast community has been seeing a lot of the Verizon build of the C-band N77, and that build is getting pretty fast and furious. But everything we've seen up to this point has been macro based. All the antennas and radios for all these upgrades, we're seeing everything on these really big, tall towers and rooftop sites. Well, this update is going to be huge with respect to the first sightings of small cells for the Verizon 5G UW, the N77 variant, the C band. We now have our first sightings of these small cells. We knew it was only a matter of time. We knew it was going to be coming soon, but we didn't know exactly when because Verizon has kind of played it off. They've told us like Q4 or early 2023. So we've been waiting for this. And because of that disclosure from them, we weren't really sure if we were going to see it sooner. And who knows, maybe this is early testing phases and nobody can even connect to it. We have no idea. But somebody shared this picture with me. And I just want to start by saying this looks to me like it is the Ericsson gear. So this is definitely an Ericsson market. If you kind of look there, it definitely doesn't look the same as what we see from the Samsung markets. So it's pretty easily confirmed this is indeed Ericsson. So that is the vendor. The confirmed location, based on the person who shared it to me, looks like residents of a market in Washington, and I mean like Washington State. And kind of unusual, or just kind of random, I would say. You would think it would be something like New York City, or possibly like Miami, Florida, or LA. You know, but then again, like New York is a Samsung market, so you knew it was going to be like an Ericsson market. It just seems to me like Ericsson, as the vendor, seems to be more prepared and ready to deploy and deliver new hardware to Verizon and also the likes of AT&T and T-Mobile as well. So this is kind of like on two different fronts. It confirms that Ericsson is going to be providing the first small cell radio antenna gear for Verizon, and this is kind of what it's going to look like. This is going to be the setup. Obviously, we don't know if it can be connected to. I wasn't able to confirm that from the person who shared this photo with me, so I definitely can't comment or speculate on that. So I don't know if it's commercial ready, if a consumer line can connect to it or not. But if it's anything like the macro gear that we've been seeing, you're going to see 60 megahertz bandwidth for the N77 channel. If the market has received additional clearance for more C-band, it might be a 100 megahertz channel. Either way, it's going to be really fast. It's going to be really solid connection. I think eventually we'll start to see the 140, 160 megahertz mark once everything clears blocks A through C. But all things seem to be the same. When I look at the gear, it looks just like this, the Ericsson gear that you see in like Las Vegas, Nevada, or any of the other markets that have Ericsson gear. But it's definitely going to be a little bit smaller in dimension because, again, you can only have it to a certain spec when it goes up on these poles, and they're not going up on these large steel, uh, you know, monopoles and these rooftop sites. There's a weight limitation, right? And so these are going to be probably a little bit smaller dimensions. I would say lighter for sure when it comes to the weight. You guys can see it's a two sector setup, and the one on the right's got some extreme down tilt. Let's take a look and let's focus in on this. So this one that's facing in this direction seems pretty flat, but the one to the right of it seems to have some pretty extreme down tilt. This to me might indicate that it is indeed testing. So you got one sector kind of pushing down. Maybe they want to kind of watch the characteristics, see the performance of it. And then this one kind of just shooting straight out. Maybe they're kind of testing the electrical down tilt as well, just kind of experimenting with it. Uh, but everything's wired. It looks like it's got power. Looks like all the fiber is there. You guys can see all those connections coming through. This little pipe area here. The power is all there. Here's some more gear at the bottom. I'm not sure what it's powering. But based on the coloration and this going up here for Verizon, and this is what they do in my market too. They do paint, right? So you probably got your power, your cabling, all this stuff. The radio gear is all present here on these antennas and stuff. So I don't know. When it comes to light poles and street lights, stuff's got to be to spec. So everything's got to be small. Everything's got to be tight. Usually things got to be pretty clean and neat. You guys can see the fiber and the power cables are a mess over here. All the utility things, but there you guys have it. I'm kind of surprised. Verizon with C-band, if they start scaling this, the this is probably going to make T-Mobile look kind of bad because they haven't really scaled the small cells for N41, and they've been building that out for like at least 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years. We haven't seen AT&T do small cells yet for N77, and if they have, I don't know. I haven't seen any, and I haven't had anybody share them with me. Maybe people just don't know what to look for, possibly. I don't know. But we'll be on the lookout for more of these. Keep track of this in your market for me, guys. If you start to see this stuff, exciting times. This is going to be huge. I mean, we've been hearing about pace picking up for Verizon Ultra Wideband. We knew that once they felt comfortable with the top 46 PAs and the macro builds, we were going to start to see small cells, and here we are. And I'm going to be watching for this in my market, but again, mine's a Samsung market. I haven't seen any of this yet. But for a fact, when I see tower crews doing stuff, I inquire and I find out. So this is awesome. They are indeed scaling really, really rapidly. And, top 46 PAs turning into the top 60 PAs, turning into the top 80 PAs. And then once everything clears with blocks B and C, all hands on deck. Expect Verizon to probably meet or exceed their build estimations for the N77 in terms of pop covered. And then also, this is depth. This is densification. These are markets that have N77 built out on macros. They're now starting to get the supplemental small cells as well. I will tell you guys, I mean, I like what all the carriers are doing. They're all doing a phenomenal job. I still feel like Verizon's probably going to end up with the most densely packed small cell macro based network when it comes to millimeter wave, C-band, small cells, the whole shebang. And CBRS, they've got quite the true layer cake when it comes to their network build. It's impressive. They're spending a lot of money. They're very dynamic network. They have a lot of tools to work with. They take, networking very seriously, and this is proof of that. There's definitely no doubt. I know some people don't like them, and they say they're too expensive and all that. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion on those things, but I think it's undeniable that they do take their networking very, very seriously, and I think this is indicative and proof of that. Comment down below, you all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Let me know what you guys think of this, these installations, the hardware. You excited for it? You think you'll see it soon? You think it's going to take a while? Love to hear what you guys have to say on this. Like, share, subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links in the description for my Twitter handle, my Gmail address for all business inquiries, and my Patreon page is there if you want to, support us there and get early access to content and exclusive videos not found anywhere else. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.